What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And before we get into the video, I'd like to say I appreciate all of you guys that have reached out to me. Maybe it was on Instagram or whatever it may be. And I've got a lot of awesome things, like a lot of awesome comments and stuff like that. I appreciate all of you guys. If you guys have actually DM'd me on Instagram, I think this was DM'd. Yeah, if you guys have done any of that and I haven't responded to you, my apologies. Just send me something again because I probably missed it. I try to reply to all of you guys, but I do appreciate all of you guys because I've been getting a lot of nice things over there. And it's awesome to see, okay? But in this video, we are going to be talking about how Darrell Bevell has made Matthew Stafford great again, like Donald Trump would say. Say that in a Donald Trump voice, okay? I can't do that Donald Trump kind of voice, how he would say that. So, in this video, we're going to be talking about that. Let's get right into it. Darrell Bevell has really taken Matthew Stafford back to the next level, okay? Because as we know, back earlier in Matthew Stafford's career, he was a very, very big arm type of quarterback that would throw a lot of deep passes, a lot of up for grabs, you could say. Remember back in the Calvin Johnson era? A lot of balls were kind of 50-50, okay? He threw a lot of, you could say, not smart passes, but at the same time, he also did have a lot of big plays. He had a lot of touchdowns, a lot of yards, and if you look back at years like 2011, it meant making the playoffs for the first time in over a decade. So we've seen some success with him doing that. We also needed him to do that back then because we just struggled everywhere else. Now it seems like our team is more well-rounded, but Darrell Bevell has still brought Matthew Stafford back to those great days. If you look back at 2018, when Matthew Stafford was under our offensive coordinator, Jim Bob Cooter, Stafford only averaged 6.81 yards per attempt, which was 31st in the league in front of only David Carr. Ouch, yeah, that's not good, okay? So it was very, very low. And you got to think Matthew Stafford, like you're talking about maybe the biggest arm in the NFL, okay? One of the best deep ball passers that we've ever seen, okay? And last year, he's only throwing for 6.8 yards per attempt. That's not right, okay? That was a big problem. But in 2019, his percentages have gone way up, okay? He has been very, very explosive. Stafford is averaging 10.84 yards per pass attempt. Nearly 11 yards per pass attempt. That's almost 5 more yards every single pass attempt. I mean, that's literally throwing for a first down every time. Why? Because they take a lot of shots. And now Darrell Bevell talks about why he likes to take a lot of shots. He says, your percentages go way up to score with an explosive play on a drive. He also says it's very hard to go 5-5-5-5-5 touchdown because it doesn't really work out like that. He said, but if you get that big one explosive play, your percentages go way up. So you might as well take the chances. And that's what the Lions have been doing, and it's been working. As we know, Matthew Stafford has thrown 2 interceptions this year in the same game versus the Chargers. We did win that game, though. Either way, Matthew Stafford has 9 touchdowns and 2 interceptions for over 1,100 passing yards already. That's a really nice thing to see from Matthew Stafford, okay? If you think about that, through 4 games, if you already have over 1,000 yards passing, you are on pace to go at least over 4,000 passing yards. Stafford's on pace for around 4,500 right now. When you look at last season, where he had that big drop-off to about 3,700 passing yards, which isn't bad, but it wasn't Matthew Stafford type of numbers, right? 21 touchdown passes, they weren't Stafford numbers. Stafford already has 9 touchdown passes, and it's working really well. As you can see, our offense has gotten a lot better this season, and they've done a lot of things right. Now, there are more than just Matthew Stafford playing well, okay? There's more to the offensive success. But you can tell that they are really taking a lot more shots, and that's what Darrell Bevell has done for Matthew Stafford, putting the trust in him, allowing him to take deep passes, and it's really opened up Matthew Stafford's game back to his old ways. This is the most yards per attempt Matthew Stafford has thrown for in his NFL career, and it's nearly a 25% improvement from his previous high, which was set in 2012. Right now, he has the NFL best in pass yards per attempt, with nearly 11 per attempt. So think about that. Matthew Stafford is leading the league when last year he was 31st. Okay, that's a huge difference from one year to another under Jim Bob Cooter to Darrell Bevell. And Matthew Stafford is known for having a really good arm. He's very talented, and we just basically wasted it last season, okay? You have to throw the ball deep every once in a while. You have to mix it in. I'm not mad if you want to throw dink and dunk, okay, if you want to mix it in, because it does work. But you have to mix in the deep pass when you have a guy like Matthew Stafford that is that accurate with the deep ball, and he has that big of an arm. You have to. Look at Matthew Stafford. He has attempted 31 deep throws, which is 20 or more yards down the field. That's 5 more than Patrick Mahomes. That's 5 more than Mahomes, who is on pace to top his league high last season, which was 92. Think about that for a second. Matthew Stafford has 5 more passes over 20 plus yards than Patty Mahomes. 5 more, and Patrick Mahomes is still on pace to pass last year's league high 92. So what you can tell is the Lions are definitely taking shots, okay? Stafford's way up there in the deep passes. He's completing a lot of them, and it's really opening up this offense to do a lot more things, okay? The short routes completely open up when you start hitting deep routes, and when you hit short routes, it opens up the deep routes, and we have the weapons to throw it deep, right? We have Marvin Jones, we have Kenny Galladay, now we have Marvin Hall stepped up, we have Danny Amendola, we have the Hawkinsons, who hopefully he gets better, we have the Jesse James, we have all the weapons, we have running backs that can catch the ball. But what was the problem, okay? Where is the problem? How do you get that started? Well, it starts with the offensive line. Now, the Detroit Lions have been running a guard rotation, okay? They've been really rotating in Kenny Wiggins and Joe Dahl. Now, both of these guys have played very well. Joe Dahl has been one of the top offensive linemen at time already in the season. He's definitely stepped up, and that was definitely a question mark going into the season. Okay, what are the Lions doing at the offensive line position? Why would we not draft an offensive lineman? Well, they seem pretty confident in their group, and they should be because they're playing very well. I give credit to Darrell Bevell, but I also give credit to the Lions for knowing that they had pretty good offensive linemen, and they're okay with doing this rotation because that can be tough, but they're making it work, okay? Now, the Lions have a lot more than just offensive linemen playing well, but they have also said we are trying to be more explosive in our pass game, and that's the way to do it, okay? So you got to play around Matthew Stafford. Matt Patricia always says how he loves to have Matthew Stafford, so you have to take your shots. Now, not only have we been solid blocking for the pass, but we've also have tight ends who are playing better than really any tight ends Matthew Stafford's had before, okay? This is a group of tight ends that has been great. And I'm not just talking about Jesse James and Hawkinson, no. But I'm also talking about that man named Logan Thomas, who is a quarterback who has been playing great at the tight end position, okay? Logan Thomas has stepped his game up. And those 3 tight ends, that trio, has been just what we expected. Great. And that's something that Stafford hasn't had before, but he's been able to use it. And if those guys aren't going, his wide receivers get open because you can't take everything away. We saw that against the Chiefs. You can't take everything away against the Chiefs. They have too many options. That's what the Lions offense is turning into if they can continue to keep the run game going. Last game versus the Chiefs, they got the run game going, and it opened up the pass for Matthew Stafford to throw 3 touchdown passes and nearly 300 passing yards. He outplayed Mahomes. Well, it helps when you can run the ball. And the Lions haven't really been able to run until last game. So think, if we could just get near that mark that we had last game consistently, we are going to be really, really good on the offensive side of things, okay? Because a couple of turnovers really changed that game from us scoring probably 40-plus points, if you think about it. The fumble at the 1-yard line, Stafford then fumbles. I mean, we just had multiple mistakes near the goal line where really we probably could have scored 40-plus points. We may do that at some point this season if we can keep the run game going. Like I said, the run game is doing more than just running, though. They're also able to catch the ball in the backfield, and the offense is very unpredictable. This is something that Darrell Bevell does that J-Bob Cooter did not. The offense is unpredictable. You usually don't know what's coming. They mix in a lot of different formation, a lot of different groups, and it works. And it's something that Matthew Stafford seems to be really enjoying. He's loving it, and the offense is definitely coming together. And finally, their 3-and-out rate is so low that they don't get off the field very quickly, so it gives them a chance to take these deep shots. And that's what Darrell Bevell has done with Matthew Stafford that has made Matthew Stafford, shall I say, great again? Probably, because Matthew Stafford has always been great, but his opportunities haven't always been there like last season, okay? They kind of wasted that arm talent. Bevell's like, hey man, this guy has crazy arm talent. I'm going to let him fling the ball a little bit, and you can see it's paying off. And other former players have talked about Stafford like, yeah, this guy's really, really good. So if this continues, Detroit Lions offense should be very good, and I love seeing Matthew Stafford take shots. It's just sad that Kelvin's not here to be on the other end of them. Anyways, I appreciate y'all for stopping in. If you guys have any comments, leave them in the comments because that's where comments go. That's my new thing now, okay? Sorry, it's my new thing. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.